subjugation?
So subjugation is when people make a pact with the devil, which, if I remember right, when Dana said demons can't make pacts, technically speaking, a pact is a contract. In order to validly enter into a contract, you have to be able to have assurance that the other person, that both parties can fulfill the terms of the contract. Well, demons can't guarantee that they can actually give you the terms of the contract because of the fact that even though we can do something sinful and that opens the door, only God, Christ, is the one who determines whether they can step across the threshold. The way we know this is actually, again, going back to where the demoniac has legion and they asked to go into the pigs. The demons know, because Christ himself said, all authority has been given to me on heaven and earth, right? They know that they can't do anything without his permission. And that's why the demons approach him and say, let us go into the pigs. Because if they could do whatever they wanted, they would have just went into the pigs. They wouldn't even have asked him. But they didn't. They knew that he determines anything that they can do. Their spiritual warfare, the battle, the complexion of spiritual warfare is entirely determined by Christ. Who can possess somebody, the degree of the possession, what kinds of manifestations they can do, all those things, Christ completely determines. Even in relationship to ourselves, the types of temptations that we undergo and that type of thing, Christ is the one who determines what the temptation can be, the degree of the temptation, how long it's going to go on. They can't step across the threshold unless he gives them permission. In a pact with the devil, they know that they don't know if Christ is going to give them permission. Now, sometimes he does give them permission to fulfill the terms of the contract. Sometimes he doesn't. One case I had, the possessor was the noonday devil, which is mentioned in Psalm 91. So that this guy was possessing this particular person. And so at a certain point, I asked the guy, how do you think he became possessed? He said, I made a pact with the devil. I said, well, what was promised you? He said, money and fame. I said, did you get it? No. I said, well, that's because they can't necessarily give it to you. Whereas other people have made pacts with the devil and have become famous and have become rich. That subjugation, though, is when that person enters into a pact with the devil. And in order to end the subjugation, not the effects of the subjugation, but the subjugation itself, they just have to renounce the pact. But the effects can continue because you can have people who renounce the pact